Coastside County Water District for Tuesday, October 14th. And we are gonna start with a roll call, please.
Director Coverdale is absent. Director Michelson,
Present.
Director Mueller,
Here.
Vice President Feldman,
Here.
President Reynolds.
Here. All right, let's do the pledge of allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, now for public comment, do we have anybody who's not on an agenda item who would like to make a public comment? Do we have a hand up or just a ringing?
No, I looked.
Oh, got it. Okay, all right. Okay, seeing no public comments, do we have any directors who'd like anything, do you want to make any comments or pull anything from the consent calendar?
For the record, I reviewed the claims and I found them to be in order.
Excellent, thank you. Bob, you good with the consent calendar?
Yep.
All right, John, All right.
Yes.
can we have a motion for the consent calendar?
I will move that this evening I approve the motion for the consent calendar after the reports were made out. And so I so move.
All right, and Bob seconds.
Director Coverdale is absent. Director Michelson,
Yes.
Director Mueller,
Aye.
Vice President Feldman,
Yes.
President Reynolds.
Yes. All right. Meetings attended or director's comments? Bob, you got anything for us?
Not at this point, no.
Okay. Chris?
I attended Bosco. It was the shortest meeting we've ever had.
Okay.
Our general manager was not in attendance. There are still two holdouts on tier two. Is that, do you have an update?
Hayward and I'm not sure the other.
Yeah, I'm not sure the other one either, but it was Hayward didn't come right. They have yet to sign. Have you heard anything?
Not from last week.
Yeah, so it was very brief and yeah, nothing new to report.
I think I heard that the other one was going to, but Hayward still had not. I think that was what I heard earlier this week.
That makes sense.
Either they did or they were going to.
Yeah.
I know there was two.
Yeah. That makes sense. So thank you.
Yeah.
John, any meetings?
Yes, I would like to report out that staff and board members attended Thursday, September 25th with SFPUC's water infrastructure and fire with Aqua Region 5 board in the city. And our chauffeur here did a great job getting some of us there and getting it out of San Francisco. You got to be an expert to at least know where we're going. But you talk about history and the water supply and the wastewater treatments of the old ones and the new ones, and pretty spectacular. And got some input because they're right next to the San Francisco produce terminal that we're all involved with. And they're going to close the street off that Gerald Boulevard because they go right through the market. They've killed produce producers before driving through there. But anyway, I think it was a great opportunity. Thank you, staff, for putting that together, Mary. And I think it was quite an education. And I had to admit to my wife that I've never been to Twin Peaks before the other day, but they got a great reservoir up there for water supply, as good as we are here in Boone Bay. Yeah, so thank you for the opportunity. I brought him a few pumpkins too, to her, Steve Ritchie. And I schmooze them a little bit. Don't raise our rate too much. Here's some pumpkins. Okay, thank you for that. That was good. Oh, and while I'm commenting, Mr. Chair, I will tell you the day before yesterday here in town, we got 2 inches of rain.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys got that up in the hills, but that was a pretty good rain there. Luckily, the pumpkin guys got away with no rain that morning, but boy, that evening it came in a good downpour, 2 inches.
Yeah.
So I can delete that. Yeah.
I let John take the lead on the Region Five meeting. I was there for that. Wanted him to kick it off since he's the Region Five rep. They did a good job, I believe. And then, you know, they took us on a tour of San Francisco, the 49-mile tour, and Steve Ritchie did a good job being the host. Got to chat a lot, and I think they did a good job and put their effort into making it a productive day for all the people that were there.
Very good, yes.
Yeah, no, I found it educational. It's good to see the people out there and doing it. Excellent. All right, let's move on to general business. Go to Section A. All right, Mary, you're up.
Okay, well, first I want to welcome, Harry Eselstein.
That's good enough.
Okay, who's president of the, Rockland Bay Amateur Radio Club. We also have, Jeffrey Goshorn, who is the emergency coordinator for amateur radio emergency services. We have,
CF
CF,
Booth.
who is the treasurer, and I believe you have some other folks in the audience as well.
We do, Karen Flick and Robert Kincaid are another members of the group. Robert Kincaid, he's our technical wizard, and Karen Flick is our secretary who keeps us on the straight and narrow.
Thank you. So, the ham radio network on the coast provides a key communications network for the San Mateo Coastside. And this network is and will be a key resource for coastside neighborhoods and CERT teams and other emergency responders from Montera to Pescadero. And particularly if the internet's down, cell service is down, in an emergency, the ham radio team is here. So we're the Half Moon Bay Amateur Radio Club relies on a repeater operated by San Mateo County, located on Montera Mountain. And in extreme emergencies, San Mateo County takes precedence with the radio communications. And the radio club might not have access to this repeater. So the radio club has been looking for a location to install their own repeater, and El Granada Tank 3 appears to be an ideal location. The radio club has asked the district if a repeater could be placed at the site. And the hardware, we understand, is relatively small. We wouldn't require a lot of access to it. It's just, but staff is comfortable with having a repeater at the site. The benefit for the district for having a repeater at the site is that the district could have access to the ham radio network during emergencies as well, and specifically to be able to send out communications to neighborhoods and to other local agencies. And the district has a number of employees who already have their licenses individually. This network would not be used for non-emergency situations. We have our own radio system, but this would be something that could be used if we have an extreme emergency. So our legal counsel has prepared an agreement, which the radio club has reviewed. And so we have key items in exchange to be able to use the network in emergencies. No fee will be charged by the district. The radio club is responsible for all costs associated with installation and operations and maintenance, with the exception that the district will provide a 120 volt outlet. And this agreement is for 2 years with an auto renewal clause, but can be terminated by either party with 60 days notice. So we would recommend that the board approve this agreement.
You guys, thank you for coming in person. We're thrilled to have you as our guests, and we're so excited to see you participating with the water group. We enjoy the community involvement, so thank you. Any comments, thoughts?
No, I too am thankful, and in reading the staff report, it's a no cost to our district, yet it's a huge benefit in case of an emergency to the community as a whole. So I mean, it's really a win-win for everybody.
Yeah.
That's all I also think.
Yeah. Well,
No, I agree. It sounds like a
Yeah.
good deal and a good partnership.
Yep.
I'm glad to see that we're partnering with other organizations in the community and serves a
Yeah.
value added to both parties. So we appreciate your faith in us and we appreciate your looking to us for help and support.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Patrick and Mary, thank you both for putting this forward. I realize you had put some work in it. Just for reference, we've had challenges with other radio communication vendors who will go unnamed, but it hasn't gone well. So it's a thrill to have our team excited and happy to be working with you. And we can let that be a lesson to the others. All right, we need a motion.
Yes, I will be very pleased to make a motion and then I'll have a brief comment. But we'll move to authorize the general manager to enter into a communication site license agreement with the Half Moon Bay Amateur Radio Club to install a ham radio repeater at the Elgonata Tank number 3 site. I so move on this motion.
I'll second that.
Perfect.
I just have a brief comment. I
Sure.
think this is a real asset to the coastside. Number one, we are providing safe firefighting waters all the way up the coast. And now communications will be excellent too. So I think as the grand jury's been looking at districts, I think this district's going to continue to be number one around the county. Thanks to this group and our group for making sure we take care of everybody as best as we can at the coast.
All right, go ahead.
Director Coverdale's absent. Director Michelson,
Yes.
Director Mueller,
Aye.
Vice President Feldman,
Yes.
President Reynolds.
Yes. Well done, gentlemen. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, Mary, it looks like you're up for DSW's construction well field.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming. I really appreciate you coming down here.
We appreciate your trust in us. Thank
There you go. All right.
So we give the radio to the grandkids so they can play with them.
There's no age limit on getting a ham radio license, so that can happen.
We offer classes as well.
See you guys.
I don't want to tell them one time when I was after Vietnam working for PG&E and the general foreman wanted me to wash his car and I thought I was doing the right thing and they cleaned it nice and then I didn't realize the mic was up on the dash and then I went around to the jobs out there as the foreman's car, giving him hell and then I got into the yard and he got in the car and gave me a slap because the key was stuck on and he could hear everything I was saying. You better remember to take it off and don't touch it. That was my radio experience, no more.
Hey, we'll keep you away from the repeater.
Yeah.
All right, Mary, tell us about the well field.
Okay. Well, the district has 6 shallow raw water wells in Pilosivos Canyon under the influence of surface water that the district has utilized since the 1960s. And these wells supply approximately 20% of the district's current annual water supply. But noting that pumping is limited to November 1st through March 31st. These wells have become very expensive to maintain and are in need of replacement. I'm going to call John up to kind of go through briefly. He put together a presentation that we did to the County of San Mateo Planning Commission. So this will just, give a brief overview of what we're asking for. So Lisa's going to get up the.
Okay, thank you for having me. I'll just add on to what Mary started explaining. Go to the next slide. But this just gives an overview of the district system. As you all know, about 60 to 70% of the district supply comes from SFPUC, raw water purchases. And then the district supplements its remaining supply with its local sources, including Pillarcitos Creek. And Pillarcitos Creek accounts for approximately 20% of the district's annual supply in normal years, which is Pillarcitos Wellfield serves as the intake for that surface water supply. So it's good. So yeah, the 6 wells are considered points of diversion for the district's rights to Pillarcitos Creek. The district is able to, at any given time during its pumping season, is able to divert 1.5 cubic feet per second, and then over the course of the year can produce 360 acre feet per year. As Mary mentioned, pumping is limited November 1st to March 31st. It historically has been the lowest cost source to the district. And its wells range in age. The oldest dates back to 1965, and the newest was constructed in 1995. So even the newest well is 30 years old. That's as you'll see in the next slide. It's the materials are causing of the wells have actually contributed to scale buildup and fouling and corrosion. So they require frequent and costly cleaning and pumping to keep them operational. And the existing wells lack any automation and remote monitoring. So it requires manual operations. So for those reasons, it's becoming more and more expensive for the district to maintain and operate. So this project would replace all 6 of those wells in kind at nearly the same locations. The objectives are to improve water supply reliability, resiliency in emergencies, reduce operational maintenance costs, and modernize equipment. But the project would not result in an expansion of use. It would be, the district would retain its existing water rights license. So the design includes using corrosion resistant materials, stainless steel screens, and that's been updated, but we're planning to use PVC casing pipe. And then all the associated equipment, the pads, piping, valves, appurtenances, electrical panels would all be replaced. The wells would be replaced with similar size pumps and would retain the existing electrical services. All the pumps would be fit with VFD drive, variable frequency drives, and would be integrated with the district SCADA system. And each would have a manual transfer switch, so a emergency generator could be used easily and could during that emergency.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to just ask a question.
Yeah.
For the record, because a lot of people are not sure about this, but whoever can answer it, I believe that is on Coastside County Water District property. Is that correct?
Correct. It's all within the district's property.
Thank you. Yeah, and I think people need to know that. It's not in a neighbor's property, it's part. Okay, that's on the record. Thank you.
Yeah, and actually, I don't know if it's mentioned in the next slide or not, but each of these wells discharges directly into the district's 18-inch raw water pipeline, which goes all the way to Nunez treatment plant. So it's the combined source with Crystal Springs and Pillarcitos Reservoir. So that all that water goes through that pipeline.
Sure.
And then we've implemented several environmental best management practices to protect against any adverse or avoid any adverse environmental impacts. Happy to go through any of those. So in summary, this project is needed to maintain level of service to the district's customers at an affordable cost, allows the district to continue operating its supply sources as it has for decades, It's not going to result in an increase in yield or expansion of use. But it will allow the district to modernize its infrastructure and improve the ability to deliver water in emergencies.
So, well, you can speak.
Okay.
Because you may find good questions here, but,
John, I get the impression attachment A is still a work in progress, right?
It's pretty much final. There's actually one change in there that needs to be made that will reduce the cost, we think, but otherwise it's.
Because my understanding is we're not putting this on. I mean, line 17, furnish install pipe column assemblies. It's either archaic English or not hanging them on boreline hose, because you typically, that's the terminology you'd use for a line shaft pump where
It's the long.
these are submersibles, so I'm gonna call this a work in progress. And
I don't know if that matches the spec language, but the specs do call out, because this is produced by GSW, but the specs do call out boreline.
that's what I thought, so
Yes.
yeah, it just didn't really matter what I was to understand. So for the rest of the board, Darren and I have spent a lot of time going over this, and I really appreciate the time the staff has spent to keep me calm and sedated so that I didn't get too frantic over this. Compromises were made on my behalf. We're no longer going to test the things by seeing it when the same voltage it blows up. So I'm much relieved. So thank you. The board, I'd like to thank the staff for being very patient. I think that money spent on homegrown local water and water that is our cheapest source is really key. I have watched well prices go through the roof over the past few years. And so these prices are in line with what I have seen other prices go up. The changes that we're seeing penciled out here, blank casing with PVC and then stainless steel screen is really normal. I'm not sold on the Superflow louvered by Moscow Ross, but as long as staff feels comfortable and that's what it is, they'll, I'm sure, convince me otherwise. But I did use the opportunity to get Johnson to agree to give me a tour of their factory in Bakersfield. So if anybody wants to see the difference between screens and louvers, I'm happy to bring you along.
What's the time frame for this? I'm sorry. How long will it take to do this?
Well, one of the reasons why costs were so expensive is because we're dealing with several environmental restrictions. And one of those restrictions is that heavy construction or noise-making construction, including well drilling, can only happen between September 15th and February 1st.
Okay.
So we're trying to complete the well drilling during that window. And the remaining work may extend into the summer. That's not as loud. So what we're trying to do is have all of the new wells operational before the next meeting starts in November. Yeah.
No,
November
But
2020.
the old wells will produce while we're drilling the new wells.
Correct.
the old wells are there. These are in parallel. They're not
Yes.
replacements.
They're offset.
They're offset. They're not gonna, they're replacements, but they're not taking them out of service. Number two, with the budget.
yeah, well,
What's is in the, I refresh my memory about the budget.
so
I didn't see included in the budget.
the budget that is in our CIP is 2.1 million. However, we had a budget in for San Vicente of 2 million. So, and we're not going to be using that money in the near future. So that can offset this additional amount.
Okay, so it was there for 2.1. And now it's 375. So my question then is simply, it's considerably more than we had the estimate for, and that's because,
Well, basically, it's,
I mean, that was an estimate. I understand.
yeah.
Yeah.
And what we've heard is, what we found is that the costs have gone up significantly.
Okay,
And, given, and this is actually, most of the costs have to do with either with drilling and the instrumentation. And that are
The
co-instrumentation.
electric,
well, I'm
it's
just asking.
$1.6 million
Yeah.
for 6 control panels in the wire.
So the estimate
It's
was based on
phenomenal.
information which is varied and changed.
Yeah.
Number one. Number two, it's something we need to do and it's gonna cost money to do it. And number three, you have money in budgets which is there will offset the overrun. Is that what, that's all I'm hearing.
That's
The
what.
reason I'm asking all this is because this ranks in pretty high in expensive projects that we've done.
Exactly.
It's up there. I mean, this ain't chicken feed. So we had, Nunez for 4 million, and this is 3.7, and the tank, I understand. So this ranks up there. It's more than,
Well, Nunes was 9 million.
huh?
Nunes was 9 million.
I'm sorry. This is one of the bigger non-construction,
Yes.
facility. So that's why I just didn't, it's like a big number, not, it became somewhat, I was surprised. But you think it's explained it adequately. I appreciate that it's necessary and that we want to maintain the local sources. That's one of the more critical things we have to deal with. And we've got to save the money we need to make sure we keep it. It's one thing.
All right.
We could add to that, the electrical costs, we did ask for a second, after the original bids came in, we asked for a second bid and it was actually higher than the original bidder revised estimate.
One more quick question. Jeff.
Go ahead, John.
In my lifetime, the well drilling world is pretty well limited around this area now compared to what it was. Do we have the well driller? Did I miss that in here?
Yes,
They're in there.
they're in there.
Yeah, I missed that. I'm sorry.
So
Yeah,
the
no.
well driller is Greg Drilling.
Yeah.
They were the only well driller to bid on the project
Oh, and
for any of the GTs.
And one of the issues with that is that for that size of a bore, not many drillers can do this type of.
It actually is, it's not really an attractive project for drillers because they're shallow wells. They have to mobilize between different
There's more
sites.
mobilization than
Yeah.
there is drilling.
Yeah,
So it's not being bid.
It was.
It was.
But it's not as competitive of an arena. There are
Okay,
environmental
no, so you
restrictions.
did not
Yeah.
ask for permission to do it without
Yeah.
getting bids. It's just saying, we want to go forward on this because this is the best we can get
Yeah.
based on our research and bidding process. Is that right?
Yeah.
I'm just checking. It didn't say.
Yeah.
correct.
thank you.
Yeah, so-
Do we have a depth too that's
They range from about 50 to 65 feet.
It's at 170.
that's kind of normal for our well?
Yeah.
On the coast here.
All right. Any other questions, thoughts?
Well, it's a long time coming and this will pay dividends long after our tenure here, so this is based on
It's been a good
the
investment.
current of all, so yeah. It's a big number, but amortized over the effective life.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty good.
Well, it's 20% of our water.
Yeah,
so-
yeah, so it's, the math works,
Yeah.
even though upfront it's a big number.
Yeah.
It's cheap water.
Yeah. All
Comparatively.
right. Bob, you want to do one? Very good.
I want to make a motion to authorize general manager to enter into a contractual agreement with TSW Construction Incorporated for the Palacitos Well Field Replacement Project for a total cost of $3,722,560.
Thank you.
I'll second it.
Okay.
Okay,
I think that motion, we should tweak this a little bit based on some of this discussion to
Okay.
not to exceed cost of 3.3723560 instead of a total cost up.
Got
Cost
it.
not to
Okay.
exceed.
A lot to still gives Glenn room to.
Nick, do chew it down.
Yeah, yeah,
Perfect.
yeah,
Thank you,
yeah,
Patrick.
yeah.
I like that.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm okay with that, James.
I would agree with that. All right. John, you still okay with the second?
That's correct, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
we have Director Coverdale is absent. Director Michelson,
Yes.
Director Muller,
Aye.
Vice President Feldman,
Yes,
President Burns.
Yes. All right. So the staff has recommended that we change the color of the tank up at the Copper Hill site, and it's not too late. So we're going with a mauve color. Oh, wait, am I reading this wrong?
So, the end tank project is now 50% complete. So, and there have been 2 change orders that you've seen that have added up to a credit balance of 60,000. So, but tonight we're asking the board to approve change order number 3, which includes, a number of items that we'll walk through with you. And as a reminder, the contract, approved by the board in July 2024 was for 10,969,000 or 969,000. So just in looking at this change order, I divided up between what's an expansion of scope versus what is a change for seismic, structural, and safety improvements. So what the first item for an expansion of scope totals 101,000. And this item was previously approved by the board in July 2025 as a separate project unrelated to the DN tank project. The district contracted directly with Andrini Brothers for this project. And as you may recall, the project approved by the board included the replacement of 110 linear feet of 16-inch main inlet pipeline and installation of 2 valves near the Carter Hill site. So DN has requested that the pipeline portion of the project be contracted through DN with Andrini as the sub to DN. Since the location of the pipeline is located within DN's work area for the tank project, and is citing that the reason for the change is for liability issues. So,
Can I ask a question about that? We already authorized that portion of the
Yeah.
project. And I'm just totally unfamiliar. We've already authorized it. Now we're reauthorizing it again. Do we need to rescind the old one, or does that just go away? How does that work?
Yeah, so Mary can explain that, but just remember, you recused yourself because of a conflict with the Andrini Brothers contract. So I would just want to remind you that I looked at that in the context of this. And because we do not need to amend the Andrini contract to add more money,
Yep.
no board authorization is needed for the Andrini contract. You do not have a conflict of interest on this matter. This
Okay,
matter is just for a change order with DN tanks.
okay.
And so just simply, and Mary can go into more detail, we're basically just having, instead of the Andrini work being done under a separate contract with the district, it's being done under a contract with DN, and it's going to be removed from the scope. So you don't need to rescind your action. It's just going to be
Okay.
through a change order. We're not going to, or amendment, we're just going to remove that work from that contract. And Andrini's comfortable with it.
It just seems funny because we've approved it once, and here we are approving the same thing, and I get it, we're doing it with a different contractor, but I was just curious about how the sort of logistics of that work.
Yeah.
So
The
is the
logistics.
change order really 275? Or is the 275 minus 101%?
well, it's
It's not, it's really less than.
101 is part of the 275. So it's really, the true change is 174.
Yeah, fine, I mean, I think that's fair, that's fair, right?
Yeah.
It's 175K
Yeah.
additional.
Yeah,
on the DM side.
yeah,
And 101 is just being transferred military over.
Right.
So it's not as significant a change as I initially.
And
That's fine.
And also just to let you know, with the $174, you can subtract out the $60,000, $6,000 credit.
Yeah.
So we're close to 100,000 for the whole change order, which is
1%.
1% of the total
That's what I was
contract.
trying to get to.
So,
Yeah.
It's, as the change order goes, it wouldn't be considered a significant impact,
Right.
on the project.
Yeah.
Less than 1%.
Yeah.
At this point,
right.
which is halfway through, I understand. Okay, so
So-
it's certainly more moderated than it appeared at the, just looking at this. Thank you.
So the second part of the change order, we have some items that were used to for seismic and structural issues. Actually, we'll have Sean go through the items. This, what we call our PCO 17, but this is a number for us, but it was 111,000.
Right, and so on that, under number 2, you'll see we have the inlet outlet pipe changes, which the original design had the inlet and outlet coming through the foundation. But when DN Tanks engineers looked at that, they wanted those to drop below from the HDR design. So we had to extend and put pipes that would drop it down and put the inlet outlet a little bit deeper. For seismic reasons, it gives it, they're on everything. So you have the foundation, the inlet outlet pipe and the wall all on their own so they can move individually. That's the first part of it. The overflow and inlet pipe, it's an additional charge for it, but the original design for those were prefabricated steel, and there was a little piece that was ductile iron. Staff looked at it, and we determined that the overflow pipe we would really like to be stainless steel. It's a 100-year asset that we're building. We would like the infrastructure, and this stems from lessons that we learned when we got into the Clearwell at Nunes, and we saw the severe pitting even on the ductile iron pipe that had been coated, but after 40 years was showing, we had to recoat it and address those issues. The stainless steel we won't have to do, and the HDPE, we will never have to worry about corrosion. So the district staff is in full support of that. And then the pipe supports is just because HDPE is not self-supporting like prefabricated pipe or ductile iron pipe. And so we had to add 2 extra pipe supports to keep them from having some dips in our inlet. And that inlet, just for anybody that doesn't know, we bring it in from one side, and it's part of the design with the mixer and everything is it goes all the way to the other end. And then the outlet is on the other side. So that's why the pipe runs across.
and HDPE is what they're using out at Surfers Beach. And
Right.
you've seen where they drag that around, it's flexible.
Hmm.
So having it inside the tank means it'll never rust, it'll never corrode. But it does have to be supported because it's flexible, it's a soft pipe.
Yeah, and that's a very good indication because you can see how they have it bent on the
Yeah.
beach and where it's dipping off, and the tractor actually has to keep supporting it because it does move around and fall. And we do want it to be stabilized. And then the last aspect of it was the yard piping changes that were made. And that is also the depth of the 6-inch line and those that we're talking about, where it goes deeper. So those were picked up there. And I believe this also had, because of the extra depth that's required just to dig it and put in the shoring and everything else. So all the costs were lumped in. When they're all together, Director Feldman, it did look like a bigger number, but when you look at all the work we're getting done, we are getting a lot of bang for our buck. And with the district looking at it, what we're trying to provide is something that will be here for the next 100 years.
And I will say there's been a lot of negotiation on these items. We've had many meetings going back and forth. And I think we really ended up with a really great product. The last item is is $62,892, which includes some changes to the roof design. The key piece of that is that we are adding 240 feet of railing to the top of the tank. The tank is standard was to only put 60 feet of hand railing. We are at 58 feet tall, and we will need to be up on that tank probably a couple times a year. And if we needed to get up, we'd probably have to rent a lift and other safety equipment. So this is something that we're doing for safety. And we spend it now, we spend it later, but it is something that makes it much easier and safer for our staff to be up on top of the tank. I don't know if you have anything.
Yeah, no, you handled this perfect.
So,
So it's a tank, it's a railing around the top of the tank.
yeah. So,
Yeah, the OSHA requirements are fall protection.
I'll draw the line of a statue on top of the tank. I won't go for a statue. Railing is fine. But no statue.
Well, the tank does come with a cap lock that goes all the way around,
Yeah, I know.
but we were gonna put stoppers so that we couldn't access it. But we do have, every 37 feet, we have a downspout that's gonna collect, and as you all know.
Well,
what's
the
right
tank,
behind
the
it.
railing's fine. I can visualize and see that it's probably a good thing to have up there. It's a high tank.
Yeah.
And if I was up there, I would want something to be able to hang on to as I was walking around. So that was, I was just being facetious. I was thinking of Brunelleschi's dome again.
Yeah.
With all this channel, all the stuff. But they have statues on top and I won't go there.
No statues.
No statues.
No statues. Palm tree maybe.
We will have a download. It'll look neat.
No, it's fine. I'm just. At the end of the day, this thing is about $100, $100K.
yeah, 114,000.
Yeah, right.
Where we're at.
That's really,
We change
and we don't know how to spell maintenance here. We don't make change requests. We know that.
Yeah.
And we knew that. But this seems, fits into a reasonable, the level of reason that we can go for without too much of this. Plus, they're the only ones that I ever remember giving us a change order that was negative. If I remember.
And there really shouldn't be any more coming right now, this.
Right.
Knock on wood, but it's
Yeah.
going really well. These, and I want
Yeah,
to be really clear, one of these, a lot of this change order is a change in scope.
Right.
And not a change in, nobody screwed up.
Right.
We're just saying, hey,
Right.
we can save money and do this better. And the hand railing, I'm pretty adamant, we're gonna pay for this in the future.
Right.
This tank's gonna be around for ages, decades, and we'll need fall protections. I think having it put in now is a fabulously better way of doing it. And I think that it's a really good expenditure of money. So there we have it. Any other thoughts?
Oh, wonderful.
All right. Who wants to make a motion?
All right, and here authorize the general manager to approve change order number 3 with DN Tanks Incorporated for $275,671.90. Comprising of $101,361.37 for an expansion of scope and $174,310.53 for seismic, structural, and safety improvements as part of the Carter Hill pre-stressed concrete tank and seismic upgrade project.
I will second that.
Okay, first and second.
Director Coverdale absent, Director Michelson,
Yes.
Director Muller,
Aye.
Vice President Philman,
Yes.
President Reynolds.
Yes. Thank you. All right.
So next item is to authorize a purchase of 28 hydrants. This is something we do annually. We have a line item in our budget of $140,000 a year. So at this point, we can buy 28 hydrants. We did go out and got 3 bids, and this was the lowest bid. So we request that the board approve this latest purchase.
I'll make a motion that we buy. Does anybody have any comments?
No.
Okay, I'll make a motion, we authorize general manager to procure 28 plow 2065 bronze wet barrel hydrants for $135,251.06.
Where did 6 cents go?
I know, no kidding. Do they deliver? Darren, do they deliver?
Yes, sir.
Oh, good. All right, there's where a 6 cents go. All right. And then we have a second.
Come to the way the pennies, we won't give them 6 cents anymore.
Bob did.
I did.
Okay, Director Coverdale is absent. Director Michelson,
Yes.
Director Muller,
Aye.
President or Vice President Feldman,
Yes.
President Reynolds.
Yes.
How many on pellets?
9, sometimes they stuff 10 in there.
And wondering how many pellets we're gonna have. Last time was pretty impressive having a hard.
All right. Jeff, we making money or losing money?
We're making money.
Yeah.
We have some comments, so.
All right, well, you're up.
Okay, thank you.
We don't even need a motion, huh?
This is an informational report, our financial results for the first quarter of fiscal year. In terms of operating and maintenance results, revenue less operating expenses, walk down the income statement. Operating revenue is $223,000 below budget. And that's almost 5% shortfall, which is almost entirely due to volume. 4.7% volume less than budget is what we're experiencing. As Mary and I were talking about today, September was a challenging month for us. Relatively moderate weather, and so we were way down in September. For the quarter, we're down again $223,000. In the other direction, we are above budget in non-operating revenue, and 2 line items make that up. ERAF, our educational revenue augmentation fund, $71,000 above budget, and we're still earning more interest than budget at this point in time. We are still sitting on, as the end of September, about 3.8 million in COP funds of the 8 million we raised in January. So we continue to benefit from that. So bottom line revenue was 103,000 less than budget, and the variances are as we just described. Operating expenses, on the other hand, are $510,000 favorable. So bottom line, we're $407,000 favorable year to date. But again, as Mary and I were talking today, some of these operating expense savings are really a timing thing. Where we have yet to begin work on things like some modest IT projects, and the urban water management plan is yet to kick in, but it will. Kathleen will get that going as soon as the state provides her the information she needs. But we do have some savings in the first quarter. The biggest piece is SFPUC spend. So we are 21% below budget, almost 30 million gallons less than budget in terms of SFPUC usage. And so that has provided a welcome offset to the revenue shortfall. So the guys are managing the supply of water effectively and helping tremendously with the first quarter financials. We also have savings in salary and benefits because we've had openings. So we just filled one in the customer service team early October. So that we had a first quarter vacancy, but now we don't. One of our internal people on the distribution side has taken the open treatment plant operator role. And so now we have 2 openings remaining in Darren's team on the distribution side. So, and we're working together to determine how we're going to fill those. So again, savings in the first quarter, we expect that to go away over time.
Who went over to treatment?
Right, so.
That's good. No, that's very good. That's actually good. Would it be fair to say it's probably easier to recruit distribution than treatment? Kind of what I'm thinking.
It's easier to fill the maintenance worker position and grow them into distribution operators.
Yeah. So, no, this is good because I mean, recruitment's always hard, and I know this is really so. Having been here and kind of seeing how things operate, I think that's great that story about the loss in the field, but I think that's great that we have people moving to water treatment.
One of the other things that's promising is that we have two very strong performers in the temp maintenance worker role right now.
So, and I always, just, it's so complimentary of that program. We get to test drive them, really just see if they're a match, work ethic, all of that. And this is, yeah, so. No, thank you, because I mean, we want longevity here. We want the proverbial pipeline of employees. Keep it going. Cool.
Well, these are, if I'm not mistaken, this is sort of part of the trickle down effect that we established with our organizational stuff that we did in the employee and growth
Yeah.
succession plan that we put in place. Isn't that correct?
Yes.
We had a lot of things we know that were gonna happen at the outset, but there were a few that were working there to be handled a little later down the road as we got this organized. And this is all just fruition of the original thing that we did
Yeah.
when we did this.
It is.
So this is all sort of in plan in a way. Is that true? It's like we planned before. This is good.
Yeah, I
No, no, this happenstance, so I'm glad to see that we continue to move forward as we had planned and as we had hoped we would. Super. Way to go.
I don't know, excuse me, Mr. Chair, but at the way off the other day, I was approached by an individual that said they're the La Honda resident that works for the La Honda Water District, whatever it is up there. And yeah, he was, no names and no support for me. And I just told that individual, if you know that individual, tell him to go to the office.
We actually did receive, we have a resume.
From an individual from La Honda?
Yeah, look, right?
Okay, so I'm empty, I'm done. Yeah, glad you're aware.
Yeah. And so again, we have some PG&E savings associated with the Crystal Springs Pump Station. In general, we have a lot of opportunity to spend some of the money we haven't spent this quarter in terms of small projects and things that we're gonna have to take. Moving on, cash balance is at 13.7 million. Again, of that, 3.8 is remaining funds from the COP issue back in January. So we're down to 3.8 there. As Mary said, roughly half of the project is spending done. CIP, we spent 4.1 million in the quarter, dominated by spending in the Carter Hill Tank project, 3.7 million. And we've identified some of the other spend here. So real quick, that's our report for the first quarter.
Thank you.
Well,
Mr. Chair, that probably is some of the best budgeting I've ever heard on a board. You guys have done a great job with information to the board here.
thank you.
So I think that's something we can appreciate because it gives us the real details on where it's coming from, where it's going, and keep it simple. We're not accountants. Yeah, thank you. That's very good on paper.
Looking forward, the first couple of weeks in October have been sort of not real high volume you see. And the rains are starting, so do we have any perception that the projected 520, whatever, for this year is gonna be short, we're gonna be short on that?
Well,
I'm just wondering.
it depends on what the weather's like.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're pretty new here.
Yeah, so normally we would get a lot of our usage in July, August,
Right,
September,
yeah.
and October, but we've had such a mild summer
Right,
and
yeah, right. Well, I'm just asking it.
yeah,
It might be something we have to consider that we won't quite need to be a projection, but we're doing okay financially. I mean, we're really good. I'm just wondering, thanks.
Well, again, Mary and I talked today about focusing anew on our projected cash flow. And it makes perfect sense, Mary. So,
Sure, thanks.
I'm always intrigued to look at the difference between what we project, what we're budgeting, our projection, and then what we actually do. And it seems like the biggest variance is in the smallest numbers. So it's for instance, labor relations, we're short $1,500, which is 100%. What is labor relations? Were we supposed to buy $1,500 worth of cookies and the staff is going without a cookie?
We've kept I think it's like $5,000 for a year. In case there would be any need to, get assistance with the union or something. So we haven't really spent it, but recently, but it is something that we put in that, we have a few things in there that are.
Yeah, no, I was just curious because I think we do a really good job of our budgeting, as John said, and as Bob said, and so I'm always curious, what areas are moving. And what's our projection for what health insurance? I hear on the media that future health insurance is gonna be our nemesis, and what are we hearing from our health insurance?
We're safe this year. Our budget assumptions are at or above what we're actually going to see.
I was looking forward to next year. What do we think?
Oh, yeah, I haven't any input on that from the folks at the JPIA. They're check me on this, Mary, but they're a little reluctant to provide us with estimates going forward. So, yeah.
We got hit pretty hard last year.
Yeah.
We had over 15% increases.
Yeah.
And this year they slowed down the increases, but it was still, was it?
10 is the max.
10% on the Anthem
Anthem.
and then I think it was like 4 or 5 for the Kaiser.
Kaiser, yeah.
Okay.
That's a good question, and clearly we need to have a sense of it as we start to plan the out years, right?
Well, I mean, you want to look at the trend and see where it's going because so much of this is making an estimate of what our future costs will be and then allocating the money for that budget.
Right.
It seems like a challenging task.
So we can make some assumptions based on other sources that are available to us beyond the JPIA. So Mary and I can talk about that.
Okay. Well, guys, I'd say good job and thank you. You keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
No,
All right, well, let's move on then to talk about our favorite subject, update number 12. John, have you thought about holiday themed decorations for your new tank?
Great Half Moon Bay pumpkin.
That's what I'm thinking. It's not too late to start throwing packets of orange dye into those concrete trucks.
At minimum, I'll light the tank.
Yeah. Oh, that's fun.
I'm okay with a giant pumpkin on top of the tank.
We can get that one of Cameron's. We got a crane. It'll pick it right up.
Yeah.
send a couple guys over. I got a couple 200-pounders you can have. I'll donate it to the tank.
I know homecoming week, we'll have the tank flying, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I won't sell them. I'll save them for you guys. But you gotta lift them up.
Next year, we can do the great pumpkin drop where we drop it from a 58.
Roll it down the hill to 92.
Yeah.
Not wrong.
Now there was an earthquake, the pumpkin's gonna end up on 92.
Well, while she's gonna have that up, I mean, I think that the big news over the last month, and we'll show hopefully some of the pictures of it's that we totally enclosed the tank. So we have all the walls up on the tank now, which is really exciting. So the work has really started on putting forms up on the roof. And we are going to be pouring the roof on the 21st.
How many days of pouring is that? One day?
One continuous pour.
One day? Wow.
Just go to the video.
Do we know how many trucks of concrete that is?
It's gonna be less than the foundation. The foundation was 29 or
You said.
so it's a lot thinner than the foundation. So
Yeah.
I would say around 20 truckloads.
Don't start it yet, but
It's Diwali.
And those trucks are
Oh,
still
that's a great
down
picture.
below.
Yes, sir.
The contract is still there.
That's a
Thank you.
great picture.
So this is, we have invested in a drone. And so we're, why don't you run the video?
Start it.
Yeah, start it.
Who's operating the drone? Right.
But as you can see, I mean, this is a big tank and look at the people below.
It's
And
already
look at the
answered.
catwalk that doesn't have a railing.
It does have a rating.
Well, it's
temporary.
It's a temporary.
But that work is getting finished and they'll be ready to pour on the 21st. Probably the best view will be from the multi-vista camera. If you want to get on that, I'm not sure there's much to see from the ground. We will, after this, that's poured, then the next activity in a few weeks will be starting to do the wrapping. And that's a little bit more
That's pretty
exciting and to be able to do what?
We probably, because we have the drone, we'll fly over while they're doing it, so you get, but that won't, it'll be a little delayed. It is all now, the deck is all done.
Okay.
So everywhere you see the timbers and stuff, all that is completely supported.
So that's timber.
Those are all timbers. They're special cut timbers that come and then they customize it to fit to the dome shape. And then it's sheeted where you see the
So the
sheet.
timbers come pre-cut in a curve?
They have there's like a taper into them. I've never seen lumber delivered like this. I
Wow.
want to ask them what they specify, but yeah, there's a special, they look like 4x6s that have this weird cut where it's got a taper in it. And they build that grid system and then it's all sheeted. We were trying to start the rebar today, but it was too wet from the rains yesterday. So the rebar guys left, but they'll be back
Now,
tomorrow.
when it rained, did the tank hold water? Or did it...
I'm sure there's a little bit in there. But we can't see. There's no way to see in.
Oh, interesting. There's no.
No, because it's all like that and
Yeah.
the penetrations are solid.
Yeah.
But once we pour it, which it's a little bit different view right now. Once we pour it, it will actually sit there until we pre-stress the exterior walls. And first they have to hydroblast and then pre-stress.
And the timber will stay?
Everything stays underneath. There's a ton of shoring under there.
Yeah.
And then when the pre-stressing and the shotcreting is done, then they will go inside our penetrations and demo everything from the inside and crane it out the holes that we,
Okay. So it's
everything gets removed.
is it to support the roof?
That's it.
To the board.
But it's 200 yards of concrete that's sitting up on top of it.
With no support on when it's all done, it'll be completely open inside.
There's no columns, not
No
one
columns,
column in this tank.
Which is really amazing when you go in a conventional tank, there are hundreds of columns in there. And my record is in an 8 million gallon tank, I hid 25 people. Yeah, there were so many columns. Well, it was an exercise on tank safety. We were doing a tank entry. And the question was, would just visually in checking the tank when we left be satisfactory? And so the question was, how many people could you miss in a visual inspection of the tank? And the number, which I'll concede, I guessed 10, maybe I think I guessed 8. And the actual number was we had 25 people in there.
Yeah, even their flat roofs are loaded with columns. So it's one of the reasons we went with the domed roof.
Yes, it's the sides hold it up. Yeah.
Right. It's an arch.
Yeah. Thousands of years.
And when is the wrapping gonna start?
They're pouring on Tuesday. So the machine should be delivered end of next week. And then they've got to set up, there's at least a week of setup. The machine does the hydroblasting
Yeah, and the wrapping.
and then the wrapping and the shotcrete.
Yeah.
It's one of the same machine, just keeps going around and around and climbing and up and down. But that hydroblasting's, that's gonna be an interesting part because that's a pressure washer that's up to 40,000 PSI.
I would highly encourage the board to visit during this process. it's set up on a rail and it goes around and around and it's like 30,000 feet of cable. And it's blasting and shooting as it goes around. It's an incredibly unique process. And it's what makes DN tank different than any other tank. And so I'd strongly encourage you to mark your
They
calendar.
developed that, did they own that technology?
They designed and patented it, yeah.
Yeah,
Interesting.
they're the only ones who do it. Yeah.
And they'll hold on to it for dear. They own every machine that does it. Actually, all their competitors hire them to do it. So, but, and a lot of you did see last week, one of the things, you remember all those vertical tendons that were in the white PVC?
Yeah, right.
So those all got pretty stressed down, which that squeezes the tank this way. But there was an 11 in each one, so we had 77 in there, and they got cranked down to 137,000 pounds of force each one. So there's been a lot of work going on to get. I mean, even I can't get it that tight. So it was
A long bar.
yeah. It's quite the setup.
And I think what's so impressive is there's so much engineering and technology. And what we're replacing were slabs of steel that were welded as panels and not a lot more to it. And this is incredibly more advanced technology and engineering. I'm really excited about the longevity and the future of this. It's a really sound investment. So pretty exciting. Cool. Thank you for the update. This is pretty exciting stuff. My book runs out. All right, we now have Mary, a possible change to board meeting start times.
Board member recently suggested that the district consider changing the starting time for the board meeting 7 to 6 p.m. And so I added this item to the agenda to give the opportunity for the board to be able to discuss whether or not you would like to move forward on this suggestion.
Well, let's lead it off. I think originally there was a lot of motivation to do it so people could come after work and attend the meeting. And one of my concerns is that this puts a stress on the staff to be here later in the evening.
Yeah.
On a work day. And I just wanted the opportunity for us to reflect and see if we should be adjusting to the times and staying current. And my thought is that most of our public participation is watching the videos that we put on our website. And so is it in our best interest to continue to put a burden on the staff of having an evening meeting? And so I would put it forward, would there be a downside to moving it forward? And Mary put in here 6, but I realize as I read it, if we wanted to do 6:30, that might be better. So I kind of wanted to see what the board thought. John, you're our elder statesman. Tell us what your thoughts are on this.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think as the age goes on, we like to go to bed earlier.
Yeah.
So I think as long as it has no impact on the professional staff, I don't want to change too much, but I think 6:30 would be a fair opportunity. People can get home in time for a little bite to eat or a piece of cake or a cookie from Lisa. But I'm not opposed to changing the time of starting a regular board meeting.
Chris?
Yeah, I'm not opposed either. I like to go to bed early. I always defer to really what works best for staff. And right now, in the past, people needed time to get home over 92 to attend a meeting or that was justified in another era. Well, since COVID now, everything is gone. you can attend just about anything through Zoom or through electronic means. So we're not disenfranchising our customers in any way. So I'm flexible and I would defer to what is really best for staff, because ultimately it's staff that runs this district, not us.
I agree.
Yeah, I think that's wise. Bob, tell us what your
I
thought
have
is.
technical questions. One is, there's no legal restrictions on starting the time, right? There's nothing that said we do this and we're committed to some legal structure. So
Correct.
Number one. Number two, what's the general state of other agencies? What's their data look like? I'm just trying to understand what people do in a general sense. You have any idea, Karen?
Well, I think it's,
Yeah, Kevin.
it's kind of all over the map.
Okay.
I mean, I know for other water agencies, like you said, Alameda starts theirs at 6.
Okay,
Locally, I know a lot of the agencies are still 7, although I think we have the Harbor District who meets during the day. I mean, I think it varies, from, I think Montero might be 7:30, but I'm not sure.
you're saying it varies.
Yes.
And there's no set precedent, there's no precedent where everybody's. I remember that initially we had always considered a little late start for the public to do whatever they had to do to get here to attend and to have the opportunity to be here. We've seen over the years and many years that that doesn't turn out to be a major issue. And not with Zoom, of course, it's less of an issue than it was, as Chris says. Other things are special meetings and both sessions. We have done them mainly in the beginning, before the beginning of the meeting. I assume that it would begin at 6, that we would shift that to later at the end of the meeting. Is that correct?
I would,
We wouldn't be looking at 5 o'clock special sessions and
Yeah.
things like that. That's, again, I'm just,
I would probably say that we push, if we didn't have the.
as long as there's no limitation
Closed
of
session.
rules or restrictions, then, I'm easy with moving it earlier. I have any problem if it makes it easier for staff. It makes the day less strenuous and arduous for people. Yeah, right.
It's a long day. Sean, what time do you start this morning?
5.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's my whole thing. He started at 5. And
7:30.
I totally understand that in times gone by, it was really important that it lighten up. And I think we really are, as we look at it, there's some good argument that moving it forward, so.
How do we announce it?
What we need is a resolution.
Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah, so at a
We have to do a
future,
resolution to
Yeah.
do this.
so at a future board meeting,
Right,
we would bring a resolution.
okay.
So it'd be a question of whether you want 6 or 6:30. And also if we want it, right now we have in the old resolution, there was an end time of 10:30, but I don't know if we need to.
I mean, experientially, we haven't ever, it really, I don't remember when that late in. I think just the start time would be sufficient.
This is boring if we.
And
go
I
late.
would suggest if you're gonna do it, you might as well make the statement that you want to do it sufficiently to give people the result or the benefits. It could be 6 for me.
Yeah, 6
I
sounds
mean,
good.
that's fine, that's.
And I really believe, the chairmanship really moves the meeting forward with staff, and I think that's very important, good chairman. And, as long as we all get home by 8:30, 9 o'clock, it's good, no 10, 11 o'clock meetings. But, I think 6:30 is sort of like kissing your sister. I think 6 o'clock is better.
I'll stop with that resolution.
I mean, if you're gonna do a resolution. you
That's
might
a
as well
farmer
make-
one.
The other question would be, do you want to make it effective the first of the year or
Oh,
December,
you wanna-
or it's
I would suggest that
As soon as possible.
Yeah,
Soon
it's
as
the
possible.
next
You're
meeting
gonna
after
do it,
the
you're gonna-
resolution.
So-
the one after the next meeting.
Yeah,
okay, so we'll do the resolution in November and and then it'll be effective for the.
Well, it's the start of the new year with elections and everything anyway.
Yeah.
He's beginning the,
is that clear? Is that we express ourselves clearly.
Sounds good. Yeah, the one legal requirement is the county water district law says that the board must set the time and place for their regular board.
Right,
meeting.
well, let's pick the pace. I vote for the boardroom.
So that's the,
Okay.
The resolution, right, it's the
so
resolution.
we'll prepare the resolution and
sounds
we'll
good.
put it on the November board.
That sounds great. Thank you, Patrick. Thank you, Mary.
So the second item on here is, I'd like to, congratulate Director Mueller. So.
Thank all of you.
Great, well done.
The other item I wanted just to talk about, because I know everyone's anxious about this, we have set a date for our strategic long-term planning workshops. So right now we have a schedule of Monday, January 12th, 2026 from 9 to 12. So set your calendars. Save the date.
Oh, do we have?
So save the date and
Mary, can you?
January 12th,
Go ahead.
2026.
I'll put it in right now.
9 to 12?
so what one of the what we're gonna do, we've over the past months, we've reviewed probably a dozen plus strategic plans from various water agencies and found that our strategic goals typically fall into 6 areas where we're looking at water resource reliability and resiliency, infrastructure management and operational integrity. These titles can change a little bit, but these, you're getting the gist of, organizational excellence, customer care outreach and stakeholder engagement, financial management and sustainability and emergency preparedness. So we have internally, from a staff level, put together some ideas for topics under these categories that we would like to share with the board, and we're going to want to send out a survey probably around the early, 1st of November or so, just for you to look at and rank or give us new, if there's other ideas that you would like to talk about. That way we can, get them all together and we can actually, the December meeting, share what the survey was and talk about an agenda for the January 12th meeting.
Sure.
So that's our game plan. We're hoping that maybe this format will be something we can continue from year to year, because we look at our past year priorities and look at the next year's priorities and both long and, near and long-term goals. So
I think in the past, our strategic planning has been a heavy lift in terms of we've made a big deal out of trying to throw a lot of big thoughts on it. And then the follow-up has felt like it was a major effort. And a different way of doing it would be to have it as part of our annual assessment. So we look at our budgeting annually, we look at our sort of organization, staff, water production. So why not also look at our long-range goals and values? And it formalizes it. So while this particular 5-person board has been really proactive about thinking about the future of the district, if we immortalize this process of looking at our future as part of the district's rotation of things we look at, it immortalizes it beyond just our board, these individuals wanting to look at our long-range plan. And so that was my thought. January is typically pretty light because we haven't gotten very far into the year. And so it'd be a good time to kind of say, okay, guys, where do we want to be 30 years from now?
That's excellent. And I'm thinking possibly with the professional staff that maybe we could start keeping it. We already have a good record of our accomplishments. And maybe by next year, submit them all to Aqua to see if we could get a little extra bonus from them back on the good things you're all doing. So that's just a something to think about if we get together and have that, meeting.
About the thread, you're gonna work on something to give to us in advance of
Right,
December.
yes,
I'm sorry, you're gonna send something to the
in
director.
early November.
Okay, for us to look over, and we're not gonna discuss that at the board meeting, this is just for getting prepared for the January session, maybe discuss it this simple.
Right, so.
You're gonna ask us for our opinions and how
Right.
you're gonna feel.
And then at the December board
Did
meeting,
you
I'll
say that we were gonna annualize this thing?
Yes,
Okay, so this is the first one of us, an annual
yes,
strategic meeting
yes,
that we're gonna do yearly now,
Yeah.
not every 5 years.
correct.
Okay, fine, I'm just checking,
Okay.
that's what I thought we agreed, and
Yeah.
right now we're doing the first one,
Yeah,
Right.
and the next one will be in a year.
Yep.
And then we'll do, okay, no, that's fine, that's,
Provides
That's what
a
I
framework
thought
for
we
the,
had-
annual
had
budget
agreed.
process
Yeah.
too.
it was an annualized
Yes.
session now.
Yeah.
Cool,
Yeah.
and the first one in January, got
yeah,
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All righty, sounds good, and we'll be seeing some stuff to look over and give opinions on, right?
right, exactly.
Cool.
And then discuss in January to finalize your agenda for the workshop.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Good,
That's December
Into December board meeting
right,
to be able to, board,
to finalize for the January workshop.
right, that sounds good. No, I get it.
okay.
All right, no.
I'll make this real quick because we've covered just about everything on my list here. So Dennison Water Treatment Plant is on the entire month. Staff's been working on getting an electric gate out there at Dennison, some new cameras put out next year. Continue our work on the Edgewood and City Works. That's been ongoing. The biannual tank inspections for distribution of alkalinity samples. Culvert repair, out in Bush's Canyon, that y'all approved last month. It's actually completed already. Went very, very well. And Dustin did attend good, the leadership, issue. Now,
Can I have a question? How,
Sure.
so just so the rest of the board knows that staff has been going and attending leadership training on how to be a more effective leader, and the leadership training they're doing is specifically targeted at public government agents leadership. And I'm really impressed how many staff, because it's now, how many do we have? Just soft count, but it's getting up there.
Four,
Yeah,
of our
four.
current staff.
Nancy did it.
Oh, five, sorry, five.
Yeah.
It's a
So,
great class.
yeah, but I want the board to know how well how the staff is stepping up, seeing opportunities to learn, because this is something, it's not a job requirement. This is something that the staff are voluntarily doing. And it's an interactive class that takes 3 days, and you're there being run through drills, scenarios, and it's not for the introvert. They extrovert you. And I'm really, really thrilled. And I really wanted the board to know that the staff is doing something that I would consider unusual for this many employees to be taking this leadership class and training. And I'm really proud of them. And if you could pass the word around, how impressed that I am, and hopefully the rest of the board is, that staff is taking this effort. So thank you.
Of course, yeah, it's proven to be, I think, very useful. Continuing down the list, no service leaks or main leaks this month.
Nice.
Got a couple of hydrants in. Continue to work with EKI on the slide repair and ESA as well. And of course, Deanne's working, or excuse me, EKI is helping us with whatever we need with anything we have, including Deanne. And then we have HDR with obviously continuing with our submittals.
Do we get photos of our culvert repair?
Sure, I can get that next to you.
It is done. It is done.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and it was 1 week or something like that. You nailed it.
A little over a week, I think about 8 days, 9 days.
That's really impressive.
And nice and robust and
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.
I just got one quick one. I understand, through the grapevine that, the Denison dredging went really well.
Yeah, that'll be in next month's,
Oh, okay, thank
because
you.
that happened in October. That's okay.
How's your team doing?
Oh, he reported on both sides.
Yes, no, if you're here, and you got up and
Thanks, Doug.
thank you for coming, and I want to know how your team's doing.
We're doing very well.
Good.
Still busy with the tank and with, the dredging project going on. Now we're ramping up, and obviously we try to maximize Denison as much as we can. It's beneficial for everybody, but in the times that it's down, when we have, we're maximizing the maintenance potential.
Good.
So we're very busy. Actually leaning on distribution staff, bringing in extra man hours to get caught up, just because we are running Denison as hard as we can right now.
And are you guys able to get up and down the hill okay without too much? Because we're sort of blocking your road to the treatment plant with a lot of construction.
Deanne's been pretty good coordinating with
Oh,
me
good.
a couple times. The other day, the rebar for the roof showed up and it just took unannounced.
Oh,
So
wow.
It makes it difficult. And there's been so many staff members for Deanne that they had their cars blocking the gate in the back. So staff was walking from the tank site up to the treatment plant, but we're making do. We have a very tight spot. It's
Yeah, you do.
It's very similar to, our neighbors that had the one in City Street. There's just, they're framing in the middle of our road. That's the only flat surface around. So,
Yeah,
but we're getting through it. Everybody knows,
good.
and we're 50% there. So
Before this meeting, I was driving from my house in Princeton and I turned onto the street to come here. The grabbers had just taken over the entire street and there was probably 1,000 rolls of, spools of crab pot rope and the whole thing. I'm like, okay, I'm not using this street today, so I know your pain, so thank you.
Yeah, may I make one conclusion
Yeah.
about this leadership program, Mr. Chair, and all of you? My leadership foundation I was involved with years ago, they always stress good leaders make tough decisions. And you guys make tough decisions every day. So thank you, but that's good leadership.
I just hope crab season gets open on time. Now that you brought
Not
it up.
yet, not
Now
yet.
that you brought
There
it
was
up.
a humpback whale right off Montera Beach.
Oh, no.
Right off the beach the other day. I was like,
No.
whoa, that's close. So yeah, I'm very cautious as to whether the crab season will, but the fishermen are out there with brand new pot war. All right, do we have any directors' comments, requests for meetings or
And
agenda items? Okay, all right, well then I will conclude our regular board meeting.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, staff.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Recording stopped.
Yes, yes.